yourself up and dust yourself off and back in the sack. Zambia,
And you go and set one somewhere. Then you come back. You know bring into the churches. Unless let the shine. You want certain things. Hello, then I want to just say, Papa, do that. And you are feeling. You want to privatize the companies. Come we can't do. Come we can't do.
People, good evening. Chair, I won't say chair, in that view. Chair, watch the chair walk like a chair walk, chair walk, tamba. You know why? You know why I'm like this, eh? You know why I'm like this? First of all, and then Asumine, I think a year ago, I accepted. And when I wrote an article asking for Edgar Lungu to forgive us because, we got overzealous. I was insulted left, right, and center. I was, hey, you are a tribalist. Hey, how can you apologize to Edgar Lungu? What? I wrote an article that is on Facebook. I said, now we can clearly see that governance is not a child's laugh. Because most of the people made it look so easy, like it's smooth running. You understand? They made it seem so simple. It was lack of leadership, lack of management. Those are the words. You understand? So when I saw things starting to happen, to unfold, article to say, you know what? We were so harsh on you, we didn't understand. And in a part one, on behalf of anybody, part one, for my conscience, I searched my conscience, I looked at what was going to be transpiring. Even though some people at that time, we've just won, so hey, it's too early to judge. What? It's too early to criticize. It's never too early to criticize, my brothers and sisters. When you see something wrong, speak up. Okay? So me, I started that critical stage. My early stages, 3 months down the line. Now I'm for to watch iPhone no, what, sir? Yes, you did something that were good and something that bad. Your cadres were a problem. We wrote that article, but in the bottom line, like, look at the things that are happening. Governance is not a child's laugh. What? So forgive us for the harsh judgment. What? Our press, they came and fed on that. They insulted left, right, and center. They insulted me. How can you? What are you doing? What? I saw it, my dear sisters and brothers. When I wrote an article about the current situation, it was on the 5th of December 2021. Remember, I've been talking about all the maize exports, the bumper harvest that they found prior to 2020-2019. But PF Badi Minamatava ayengi sana. And when the UPND government took over, they found a matava. I am 2019-2020. Now I am 2020-2021. So far, if you bumper harvest, you understand, there was bumper harvest. And, lack of vision. They never anticipated. And it's very ironic that this government that keeps on talking about climate change never anticipated whether they're going to have bumper harvest or whether people are going to cultivate, they'll be able to provide fertilizer for people to cultivate. They never anticipated that, okay? For so-called government that's so educated, that's so vision, that's has got vision and whatnot, they never anticipated that. They never anticipated whether in 2023 you're going to have a bumper harvest. So what did they do? They embarked on exporting maize. To say we've got enough maize, okay? We've got enough maize. And their export, if you remember very well, they didn't have money because they had proclaimed on social media to say we've paid the farmers, the ones that supplied to FRA. We've paid them. And when the farmers started queuing up, when the farmers started queuing up, what do? Because they don't have the money, but they want to appease you. They want praises on social media. What do? They start exporting maize. That exportation of maize was one of the points that they wanted to export is to pay the people that supplied to FRA. So they exported maize. They continued exporting maize, not knowing whether they're going to have a bumper harvest, not knowing what 2023 season, what harvest they're going to have in 20. And these are the people that said they are farmers. You understand? These are the people that said that. So they exported the maize. I wrote an article to say, listen, given the anticipated electricity tariffs, because these tariffs that you are having, the electricity, the increase in electricity tariff, it was anticipated in 2021 December to say they are going to increase electricity tariffs. As usual, no. I talked of the fuel prices, the increase in fuel prices, because these were under the IMF conditions. The moment this government came in, their first stance was to go for an IMF bailout. They didn't exploit or look at the all possible solutions to say, do we really need to go for this bailout? Do we have any possible solution that we have overlooked? They didn't engage the creditors, okay? And when I said the creditors, I mean China. They didn't engage China. The first instance, it was a well-known fact. As soon as they won, their eyes was with IMF. But IMF also has conditions. So some of the conditions were increase in electricity tariffs, fuel prices, removal of subsidies on agriculture, which they denied. They vividly denied these tariffs. Okay? So in December, we knew that fertilizer is going to be an issue. That was 2021 December. We saw. Okay? And I can pat myself on the back to say, I anticipated this thing that is happening and it's come to pass. At the time, I was being insulted. Left, right, and center. I didn't mind. I've told you, I don't mind being insulted. Okay, but here we are now as a nation. They denied these IMF conditions. At first, they couldn't even disclose the IMF conditions. It had to take pushing to say, tell us the IMF conditions. Even now, they have not accepted to say the increase in fuel, up and down, increase in order to reduce is because of the IMF conditions. So, they propagated on this agenda of saying, oh, we are working, and praises on social media. Let me tell you one thing about Press Singer. But Press Singer, you are the downfall of this UPND government. Because instead of you, by Press Singer, standing on what is true, what you do is you feed their ego. Because this government is a government that seeks for praises and so that they feed their ego. Their biggest challenge, and this is the truth, UPN's biggest challenge is to outdo PF. Not to fix the economy, not to ensure that you people have got adequate food. Oh, you've got medicine in hospitals. No. Their first aim, their first objective is to outdo PF. But the question is, how do you outdo certain people if you don't even know how they used to run things, how they used to do things? You cannot. You don't. UPND's agenda is not PF's agenda. UPND's ideal existence is not the same as PF. You understand? So they came in to outdo PF. And now it's backfiring. And even about UPND, but I'm very stupid. Yes, I'm very stupid. It's okay. So we are here now. Okay? Imowa Press Singer, not me. The onus is on the Press Singers. Because instead of you standing up and ensuring that you don't feed this government their egos, you praise them. So they are thirsty for praises, even though they have not worked. They are thirsty. This is a government that is thirsty for praises. Anxious to be praised. Anxious to be told, yes, Bwana. Yes, Bwana. Well done, Bwana. Bwana ni mwebo. Bwana mwebo abako. This is the best government. That's what they are seeking for. And in the process of seeking those praises, they make rash decisions. They make decisions that are of today and not of tomorrow. And it comes and backfires because, seriously saying, UPN is not the one that runs the entire world, the economic of the entire world. Each country that we want to trade with, each country that we seek MOUs with, it's got its own way of how it runs things. It will first look at its internal, the micro environment, before it looks at the external environment. So given that this is an educated type of government as they present themselves, surely they could have anticipated that. So I wrote this article, and I'm so proud that I wrote this article that has come to pass today. Said it won't be surprising that this same maize they're exporting, they will start importing it. Today, as we speak, people are queuing up. Muchalo, people are queuing. I don't queue up at the shop. No. People are queuing up. Uma plant. Ekobapango bunga. That's how bad it is. Ichigayo chile gaya abantu na batanta mambalo lelo bunga. Mwaimona for idea. So, if pressing, you are the downfall of your UPND government. Because you don't point out their wrongs, you feed their ego, you praise them, and they think they're doing well. When they're doing absolutely nothing. This is the worst government ever. Worst. And they have little time, now I've penye fintu, and they have little time to ensure that this situation that they've landed Zambia in secures their victory in 2026. They've got little time. We're talking of 2 budgets. Okay, if you're not sure what I'm talking about, we're talking of 2 budgets. We only have 2 budgets before we start thinking of voting. Why are you open there? Maybe you don't understand. We are looking at 2 budgets before we start thinking of voting in 2026. And my question is, what does these budgets that they've given us, what has it achieved? What are these budgets that they've propagated? The other time, even the Panga 2023 budget, do you remember? For to say we've increased CDF from 25 million to 28 million. First time in history, teachers are calling, teachers are texting to say that to refola. The same teachers that were employed last year. Yes, Ellington, 2 unimplemented budgets already to go. 2 unimplemented. We are talking of, this is April, May, June, July, August. By August, September, they should be now, planning the next budget of 2024. I am working, Tyson, I'm working on it. So we've got, in fact, if you look at it, very, why conquer wasanga root cause, in only April, May, June, July, August, September, the finance minister should come and release the 2024 budget. 5 months to the 2024 budget. And that will now leave 1 unimplemented financial budget. No, Baba budgets you paid. What has the budgets, the 2 budgets that this government has given us, what has it achieved? CDF, what has it achieved? The cost of living, inflation. Now you want to start now clapping again. You don't learn. When the Kwacha fell, we told you why the Kwacha fell. I mean, the Kwacha appreciated. We told you why the Kwacha appreciated. Okay? When we had that, we had nations in South Africa or neighboring country, there was a BRIC summit where most of the leaders, including Bena Kagame, Bena Tshisekedi, most of the African leaders were in South Africa. And the whole essence of that that BRIC summit, the thing that they had, was to start trading in yuan, the Chinese currency. So removing over-reliance on the dollar, and then come up with their own currency in which they are going to trade. So what do you think we'll do? If oil companies, Saudi Arabia, for example, France, these companies that have come on board, Russia and other countries that have come on board to accept, to say, okay, we're going to trade in yuan. What do you think it's going to do to the demand of the dollar? It's going to make the demand on the dollar to drop. And the demand for your yuan to rise. And that's what's happening. These people that trade, these people that deal with financial markets and whatnot, they know, they're anticipating. So they're getting their monies instead of dollars, they're now getting especially that deal with oil. People that trade in oil, they're getting their monies away from the dollar currency to the yuan currency. Number one thing we are overlooking as a nation, okay? South Africa is one of the countries that we do trade a lot with. And especially our people go to South Africa to get goods to come and sell in Zambia. So you understand, they go seek the rand, get the stuff in South Africa, they come back, they sell in kwacha and whatnot. Okay? Now South Africa has accepted to trade in yuan. So what do you think is going to happen to the kwacha? And I'll give you a challenge. Here's the challenge. I know a lot of media houses or media whatever pages are saying, oh, kwacha is fighting against the dollar. No. Kwacha is still weak. Kwacha is still weak. You understand? And why do I say kwacha is still weak? I ask, what has UPND done so good that has made the kwacha, the demand for a kwacha, to increase? Because as we are an importing nation, as long as we don't export enough, there is absolutely no way the demand for the kwacha is going to increase. So what is it that they've done in this short period of time? Last time, they used the reserves on the financial markets and the dollar reserves that we had, and that's what's dropped the kwacha. This time around, I ask you, what have they done? Some people are saying Kamala Harris left the dollars. How gullible are you? That Kamala Harris will just come nefuma dollars mu bag and drops it in Zambia. Aye. Start researching. Start going out there and seek information for yourselves. Appreciated. The kwacha is appreciated. Somebody's tampering with my network. If we are even seeking to import our staple food, how? In what sense? So the biggest challenge that in the long run, again, that Zambia is going to have is trade currency. Because we've lined ourselves with the dollar. And we think dollar is the only currency that we can trade in. So we've aligned ourselves. And we've forgotten to say, okay, in the long run, in the next coming 2 years, 3 years from now, what other currencies are going to be on demand? So the biggest challenge that Zambia is gonna have in the coming future is trade currency. Trade currency. We will see a situation where our kwacha will be useless. Where we'll start trading in other people's currency at this rate. Because now we hear France, energy sector in France has made a deal with China to deal in yuan. You know, removing reliance on the dollar. So people are now stopping to seek for the dollar. So yes, you see that, okay, maybe kwacha is appreciated against the dollar, right? But the buying power of kwacha will still remain low because people are not seeking the dollar. But because this is why being a sovereign nation, sovereignty is very important. You don't have to tie yourself to a certain nation. It is important because of trade agreements, trade rules, whatever. Because you need to be able to trade with any nation. Any nation that's doing fine, it is to your advantage. No, but Zambia and this government has tied itself to America. America is calling the shots. You know, napa kusakanata party. They're releasing the same statement. I read today that they've reached another staff level agreement. And Zambia is going to be given, and you know what? The funniest thing is this. These media houses is so pathetic that when they report utupimfya kind of news. I saw pa Mwebantu Media. Mwebantu Media now, Kairi, it's been bought now. So it's a leaky media now. You know? So I saw them, they said, Mwebantu IMF has reached, and people were clapping. I said, goodness me. Babula Kadia, Akapa first, and they don't go in details of this staff level agreement. And I saw by Emmanuel Mwamba where he said the same message has been posted twice. The first was on the 16th of December 2021 when the staff level agreement was reached, and now today. But in a being chair, in a being who I am, I don't know stuff. I'm not bright like anybody else, but this is my analysis. You know, as a political analyst, I need to understand. I need to know what is really going on, especially in regard with the Kwacha appreciation. And I've told you what is happening. Okay? Yes, Sydney. Sydney says Kwacha's value hasn't improved. It's the dollar that is crumbling globally against the foreign currencies. Don't be fooled or cheated that Kwacha has improved in the last 2 days. That's the point I'm trying to make across. People are moving away. The demand for dollar has depreciated. This is why you saw Kamala Harris coming to Africa wasn't about democracy. Kamala Harris coming to Africa was a way of her trying to see which African countries they can align with the US. This is why Zambia joined only 5. In Africa, Zambia only joined 5 countries to sign MOUs with the US. 5, can you imagine the entire Africa? And part of those countries was Kenya, which now Kenya, Ruto is moving away. Ruto is now on the verge of accepting to trade in yuan. Part of the country that Zambia was to trade with, the 5 countries, was Kenya. Just 2 days ago, Ruto was with Kagame in Rwanda. And now Ruto is looking at ways. That's what a president does, a sovereign nation. If these Ukunga Kudama problems, you seek other solutions. You seek which is the way forward for the country. Not everybody else is pulling away. Sovereignty requires you to be you as a nation, to do what's right by your country, to do what's right by the people, not subjecting people or because of what this notion that you have of superpower. Things are changing economically wise. So, talking of the IMF reaching staff level agreements on the first review of the extended credit facility, I want to now make sure Mwebantu, I don't know if they are watching Mwebantu, you understand. You took a clip of the Shan. Now I want you to listen to this, okay? IMF staff and the Zambian authority have reached a staff level agreement on economic policies to include the first review of the 38-month ECF supported program. All structural benchmarks and quantitative performance criteria for the first review have been met. Now let me tell you one thing. I gave you an example of is it Sri Lanka? Is it Sri Lanka? Which country is that? No, not Sri Lanka. Actually, it's Pakistan. I think it's Pakistan. Between these countries, I'll look for the country. They've been seeking for IMF bailout since 2019. The staff level agreement was reached in 2019. They had a review, and IMF came back and told them to say you have not implemented these conditions. So Pakistan, thank you. Muhammad Avanto Barashta Research, Pakistan. Thank you, Lakson. They came back recently as we speak. They're in a time na Kamala Harris Zambia. They told Pakistan to say, you've not implemented this condition, so we are not going to give you this, we are not going to release. LMP bale 1.1. They asked about 6 billion. They asked about 6 billion bailout. And all they want for now is 1.1 billion bailout that they need to access. And they don't have that access. Pakistan asked for an IMF bailout in 2019. And 2019, it's been 4 years. They're still waiting to access 1.1. Now Pakistan is saying, maybe we need to look at other alternatives. Why, Monica? But anyway, let's not lose track. I want to tell you about that thing that Moebantu Media wrote. Before Shiraisa Kubunga, Ubunga Ture Bulanda, Ubunga Wena Kubulandapo, Zambia will have access to about $188 million in financing once the review is approved by IMF management and formally completed by the IMF executive board. So, that 1.3 billion that they've agreed, it's not like it's going to be given all of it at, oh, yes, now you're now with any 1.4 billion. No, they are going to give mutu pimfia to pimfia. So when they see that some of these conditions that they've told us to implement as a country have been met, then we only have access to $188 million for a population of 20 million people. Tugalashana na $188 million. You see why things won't get worse. And on that 1.8, they need to ensure that every money is spent is accounted for. Why, Monica? Which means more harsh conditions for you, the Zambian people. Why, Monica? But it gets better. Yes, Mwebantu posted to say, oh, they've reached this staff level agreement. And they will have access. They didn't post to you that they've got access. They only have access to 188 million. But listen to this key point. To remove any hurdles to the timely completion of the review, Zambia needs official creditors to move forward and reach agreement on debt treatment in line with the financing assurances they provided in July 2022. They were exciting you as they've reached the staff level agreement. Here lies in the fact, it still remains that China has to play a role. It's stuck. Because even if they've reached that review, here, by IMF are saying, to remove any hurdles where I hang over and what, maybe debt, Zambia needs official creditors. Who are the official creditors? China, Beijing. Those are the official creditors. To move forward, it's stuck, it's stalled. As we speak, the debt restructuring has been stalled. So, for IMF to do anything, yes, in principle, they've told you they've agreed staff level. But to even go to executive board, to even go to IMF management review, to move from staff level to IMF management to executive board, the official creditors has to move forward on the debt treatment. Remember when China called for the multilateral companies, the Eurobond holders, to also come on board, to also come on board in the debt restructuring. The problem here, that is Zambia, the reason why this debt restructuring has stalled is this. The Eurobond holders, the multilateral nations, don't want to cut their losses. They want China to take their losses. You see, all the losses because we defaulted as a nation. And we did not default. By the way, let me remind you, we did not default on China's debt. We defaulted on the Eurobonds. But the Eurobond holders, what they want is to actually not cut their losses and put all the losses on China. Why, Monica? So if what we can pay the Eurobond but not pay China, and we only defaulted on the Eurobonds. And China is saying, hang on a minute, why should I be the one to get the loss alone? Why can't we share this loss? This country has defaulted, you want us to come on board for debt restructuring, so why can't we share the loss? And that's why the World Bank came in and said no. And that's where it stalled. Because China is like, come on, you're saying we're here, we're doing all these things, the influence of China on the African continent and whatnot. But come on, if we're going to talk debt restructuring for this country, let's also all of us get the losses. But these things are going on behind closed doors, so they don't tell you. So they use this to my social media to make you feel like we are headed somewhere when we are actually not going somewhere, excuse me. When we actually stood this whole thing, this is not in our hands. This ball is not in our hands. Even UPND, they've dropped the ball. They don't know which direction they're taking the country, and that's the truth. So talking of that, anyway, let me finish this article. The economy has rebounded. Physical credibility has been restored. And with the authorities continue strong reform momentum, growth is expected to pick up further in the mid-term. The authorities remain committed to strengthening transparency and fighting corruption. Which corruption? Which corruption have they been committed to fight corruption? So this is IMF now leaking, making the UPND feel like things are okay. Okay? The UPN, now to Africa staff level agreement. But it's all on China. Again, they are battling it on China. And UPN will come out to say, okay, to Africa, to access this 1.88 million. When we can even get this money from the mines, the Sujilite. How much was Sujilite? The Sujilite, how much was Sujilite that we are here? Papatida in for 188 million. Sujilite was 750 weight, isn't it? $750 million. In your own country, you've got a mabwe. But you are here, Papatila in 188, and you say you've got vision. Eh? Which vision? Which vision? Where is Sujilite in a Sujilite? Where is it? The Sujilite that was impounded, where is it? We are beggars when we've got minerals that everybody's seeking. And our minerals, Tayabola. Don't even say, no, we trade because what? No, everybody's seeking for lithium. Everybody's seeking for gold. Everybody's seeking for copper. So they will trade with you. Bottom line is this. Isukeni palakasa. You as a smart, you are maybe even more smart than these people that you choose to be your leaders. You understand? And a problem yaku kwate abakoti. As we speak, Msokotwani should be firm, but Charles Mulpi should be firm, because these guys don't even research no more. Their financial tactics and their economy tactics, Young Fedro, Mwawa Elensky, the world is evolving. Economically wise, it is evolving. Superpowers are being exchanged. Young people, young ones in this generation, they're able to research, they're able to understand, to say, hang on a minute, if this is what's happening, maybe we need to change the way of running things. Maybe we need to change the way of doing things. This is where business management. Lewis three change models of doing business. Okay? It's called unfreeze, change, freeze. Where you unfreeze, you stop the old way of doing things. Then you change, you adopt the new way. Then you freeze that change at a certain point. And then when things change, again, you do the same. But we have economics, we have economics. Another issue is this. In regard with what is happening with the meal prices in Zambia. Apart from us anticipating this, which we can pat ourselves on the back. Come on. A young girl like me anticipates this and it happens. Come on, give me some credits. Eh? The meal prices, basic economics. Basic economics that quite one of my degree holders. Okay? So, we have meal shortages. Okay? So, demand supply. If demand is high and supply is low, what do you think is going to happen to meal prices? As in the case of today, there's shortages. So we're having low supply and high demand. Regardless of how you look at it, definitely the prices are going to shoot up. On top of that, the inflation that was given to us was artificial inflation. Let me ban this person. Let me ban them because I let that distract. But we don't do that. So demand supply with the meal prices. This is what you are experiencing in Zambia, and this is why we're talking about that inflation. It was a joke. It was artificial gain. So we have supply that is low. Demand is high. This is why people are queuing up. Meal prices, no matter how you look at it, they're going to shoot up. That's why when you are in leadership, the prime minister, prime minister, people just regard a prime minister as a prime minister. When people give you leadership, take over now, but I want to about leadership. Yo, the worst mistake this government did is threatening the millers. Ira mwaishe panga ka conference kaya, mwaishe panga ba efara yeshanyu uko baja ba bosi baja. Baraba pangire ka conference kachi. Where they were instructing the millers. They were instructing them to say, if you have to. Instead of engaging them in dialogue, they were basically commanding them to say you should not sell milimu at such a price. Forgetting to say that milimu taigaya, amatawata gaya, there is production cost, there is employee cost, there is, all these fuel, whatever, transportation cost. So how do they make money? How do they make profit? How do they pay their workers? If you just come out because of your position to say, don't sell at this price, sell at this price. So nobody, okay. Is that what's okay? So in chigayo chako. Chigayo chako in company yaba wish. All right. They will just sit down and they'll just make a plan by themselves to say, we can only produce so much for us to make profit, for us to pay people, so that we don't get into losses. This is how much we can produce and this is how much profit we can make. And you cannot force them to produce more than what they are able to produce. Ellington, yes, you can't control the millers. You can't control the millers. You are supposed to you engage them. This is why this company doesn't know about, this government doesn't know about dialogue. Imo para mwari mwana oh tuwabomba na kai mwaite mwana ma cameras no kumitotera. Yes, and you just think the millers what they are going to do is just gonna implement what you've said. Do you own them? Do you give them? Do you give them fuel? Mwari wapera kwa subsidies to say okay diesel was because you are millers. Diesel imom kalash tapa no because of your production costs. Mwari wapera transport costs. Fuel. How to watch the transport ayara ubunga to destinations so that people can access that. Chonsa, you never catered for that. Even you are increasing fuel, you are increasing tariffs, electricity. Now electricity, because some if you guys want electricity. You don't think of that. But because you want president to want to show that you want to impose, you want to and demand. No, it does not work. You can be a president, you can be a minister of agriculture, you can be a director of FRA, as long as business and I decide how I run my business. I have employees because next, what the millers are going to do, and this is God's honest truth, and only work with the people they can afford to pay. And you think what will happen to those people that were working in those milling companies? So, they've come up with a solution to say, okay, they want us to sell Ubunga at this. Our production cost is this. Our transportation cost, how much profit are we going to make? So, we might as well produce this to make a certain profit so that we don't go into a loss. And that's what's happening at this point. If you are smart getting if you and another thing apart from this is the mwalesh exporter mataba. Mwalesh exporter mataba saying balaba mtoropiri baji. Balesh tano kuipani, we've got enough maize to cater for the 2 years. Where is the maize? Where is the maize? Give the millers the maize so people can eat. You had enough maize. Mwamuraga. Abantu kula tanta miwunga in that man. Erona yok tanta mwagwati nga washtaka muka bag at we wear na foot. We wear na foot. Back penta na kondo. Mu 2023. 21st century. Jesus Christ. Na ngufeta ulan that failure. This is failure. Failure, because it's even more failure because you had solutions. We are not going to export maize. Actually, we are going to add value. We will produce mealie meal and export mealie meal so that our imports can be more than just us exporting copper. This way, where's this solution gone? You will see the caliber of our ministers. Health sector corrupts. Agriculture sector corrupts. Energy sector collapse. You will see the caliber of our ministers. Which ministers? Below par. The entire governments that have come in Zambia, these are the below par ministers we've ever had. Below par. And you have to pull up your socks to reach even at PF's level. Your success lies on what PF is measured by PF standard. Your success by UPND is by PF standard. But even that, you are failing. You are like this. PF is right now as we speak. PF is imamudi up. You understand? And you've got two budgets to go before we start talking about voting. You know it all, eh? You are telling people eating peace. Your cadres, that's what they've done, your cadres. Ku city market, ukutoba ma bus, mwarenga shawantu bainda ganda. That's when that your cadres are, there's no cadreism, eh? The cadres today reacted because bus drivers have had enough up to here. Because bus drivers, we've been talking about it. They've been paying to cadres. So today the bus driver said, hang on a minute, and that's the riot that was ku City Market. And what did they do? They destroyed people's vehicles. They destroyed people's work because that's what they do. But the pakudisha abana drivers, abana babunama families, that's their job. That's their workplace. It can be in City Market, but a driver, that's his office. And what has, in these hard times, what have your cadres done? They've destroyed people's offices, people's workplaces. And are we going to hear that being condemned or being arrested? Hang on a minute. Anything to do with UPND is okay. So behind every driver that his bus has been destroyed, there may be families that rely on that driver. So tomorrow, how are they going to go? Because by traffic, mukabe kata to say you can't drive this kind of a bus. A bus that's been destroyed by cadres. Mukabe kata. So what are you going to do? How do they go for work? How do they find another job? And you think you are ruling at it as long as there is peace. Which peace? Which peace? Peace number 9. As long as there is peace. Peace comes in when this is full. When the stomach is full, people will be at peace. If everybody is able to eat, face by president now so I'm like this more face nishna moso va bale kuta wina pofie no tume shkai ni dimbita muno bwa ngai fo everybody ba president kuda wina pofie tuma wine kai nishni miso bana mu kuta. You understand? So you must destroy. I'm about. You've rendered people unemployed. Mama, you've rendered people unemployed. So you might put that as long as we have peace. Wait. You shall see the peace when people are hungry. Already I am. The junkies are out there because they've got nothing to do. The youths that voted for you, they've got nothing to do. Don't thinking I'm English 30 pin teachers. 30 pin by 20 million people. What is 30 pin? At Mwasov. Don't think like that. Muma combo, you ask them. Because junkies are all over the place. Junkies are the boy that killed the stepfather. It is because if that boy probably had something to do, he wouldn't be a junkie. He wouldn't go and kill his stepfather. And the worst part is this boy killed his stepfather in cold blood for 100 kwacha. Now, if mnaenda economy yenu ile bomba, economy yenu na mfika pachi, why would one kill somebody over 100 kwacha? Things are bad. We're hearing warning shots every night to dispel criminals. Things are bad. Tafichira ba. Andy, mulei fuakui umfuishabui. No, things are okay. No, things are bad. Things are bad. Imo parawa PF ya that things. Imo because imo muriangara na mumala mwabantu. That's the worst part. Muriangara na matumbo ya abantu. Mwajumfa po chechwe much than that. Mumalata mutasha. Lelo kutuwadia. Mairo wala buka. You still be hungry, you'll be still thinking of food. Ichi fuare chak fuarech. I can buy this, I can still be with this for another year, and I'll still wear this. But I cannot stay as a human being for another year nganshididi. Umuntu wadi. Zambian ni 5 finger. Konso kokaya, Zambians are seeking for a 5 finger. Nyombe mumulangana na matumbo ya abantu. Folks that propagate to say as long as we've got peace. There is no peace. Your cadres are destroying people's livelihoods. So, because you came rule of law. Which rule of law? Which rule of law? Rule of law, as long as you are, if you are a praise singer, then yes, you enjoy the rule of law. If you are not, you are in for it. You're in for it. FYI. Maimona. So, all these things are happening. In this situation, Mwabika Mbantu, where people are now queuing up for a staple food, is a bad situation. And it's just a matter of time that people have it up to here. If we are here to warn you, not that we are against you or UPND, no, we are here because we are saying these things. It is because people are hungry that people resort into criminality. Kuma Europe, to stop people rising against them, they just resign. Life goes on. Life goes on beyond politics, beyond ukikatirire chintu na chikukane chintu na ukikatirira afu na upatikisha. I give you an example. 5 ministers have resigned so far in the UK. They've moved on with their life. They'll still get their benefit. It doesn't mean when you resign as a president, then you won't get your benefit. You still regarded as the 7th president. But because of the ego, because of the praise, because of these pictures, because we want to be seen as we are the leaders, we don't resign. Either end result is some kubipa. You understand? You can save yourself as to say, you know what, I think the Kenyan Shire Kobambi. Now, Aisha, but things are not as I promised. Because I remember President Aka in the issue, I said, I don't think I could continue leading a country if somebody had to die of hunger because in my presidency. He said that himself. Just because we are not hearing or we've not known, there are people that have died of hunger in Zambia. You can even see, but press fear about mixture. They used to come here, they were insulting me, left, right, and center. But fear about mixture. They are reducing slowly. Because even them, even my press singer, when I speak here, I even speak for your press singers. And I swallow and I am insulted. But because even if they insult me, I'm still speaking for them. Because insala taisalanda. Taisala, you can be whatever, you can be with the top voice, we can what, but you want whatever you want. Insala tayakasade my dear. Insala will hit, and it hits very hard, and it will hit where it hurts the most. That's hunger for you. That's hunger for you. So don't start pretending to say as long as we've got peace. When people are hungry, there's no peace. There is no peace. And they continue to say, like we were under just work hard. You want to drink, you want to drink. Yeah? You want to drink. You understand? Ni sala shadriki. Ni sala to adibeshi bakai din sala. In sala mbeta kwet olo to bandos dinto dimla kongwere fe no to bandos. My rotation of kwataka band. So talking of that, but I wanted to talk about the accident that has happened. Nomba kashtaka ya karepo nkesa mairo mkulanda pa the accident. Mairo ndi off. Nkesa mkulanda pa the accident. You see? Let me just ban this one. In case I'm glad party accident, you know, this God, when I say pray, this, when we pray, when we cry, when a woman sheds tears, this God is a just God. Let's at the fire Urufiengo Lubi. You understand? I won't say much about that accident, but it's very bizarre and ironic that when the first headlines in this morning, which Tayali predicted, by the way, read Edgar Lungu's Baba Man, not even Chilekwa. Chilekwa comes afterwards. Edgar Lungu's Baba Man sentenced to 25 years imprisonment. And the puppet in 24 hours taikweni. Na 24 hours I would night chenchenta. I would be worried. Then my motorcade, or whatever you call it, gets involved in an accident. And I hear that woman is dead. So what are you going to do? Because that, in the UK, if wapunko muntu, that's manslaughter. In Zambia, maybe you call it second degree murder. You have to go in. You understand? It's called manslaughter. Maybe in Zambia, second degree murder. It's very, very, for me, I would night change. This thing has happened morning, 24 hours down the line. At the presidential whatever has hit the pedestrian. And I hear that, I don't know about that, if she's dead, but I hear that she's dead. She's dead. So that person that was driving that, what's going to happen to that person? This God is a God that is just. Akalingo lingirako mnove na iwe eko baka kulingirako. Exactly, Daddy. Akalingo lingirako mnove na iwe eko baka kulingirako. This is God speaking to you, Zambians, and you, the leaders. Inenda meba na tura pepa. Turapepere charo, because for me, this is like Jesus Christ. I was like, what? What just happened? Eh? How possible is that? Somebody just lands in the country and one of his people that drives him around kills a person. Kills a person. 24 hours taikweni. And you're not even hearing it about you. Somebody says a life has been lost. And this comes back. You remember when we used to say move to state house, move to state house, move to state house. But because we are pompous, we are egocentric, we don't move to state house. But a life has been lost. So what do you say as a people? What do you say as a nation? Because the leader is supposed to be a listening leader. But again, on top of that, I think it's God speaking to each one of us. Let's search our conscience. Ask ourselves. Because when we kneel down and pray for this nation, when we say God's wrath will descend upon this country. And I'm telling you, because I couldn't even comprehend it. Because one in the morning, Mwashinga, Mwale Bapons, all the social media were like, Edgar Lunguzi, Baba, Chilekwa, what, Edgar Lungu, but Twitter, Baba BBC. I want BBC to write about this accident that has happened. Presidential motorcade. Presidential motorcade. Do you know, the same day, hours difference. Oh. That's what's gonna happen, yes. So the headlines tomorrow, we're waiting for diggers first. Diggers, they will have a good look my headlines. We'll wait. BBC will pick it up. Unless, because here, and I kid you not, if a prime minister's motorcade killed a pedestrian, an individual, or any person, they will be prosecuted. They will be prosecuted, they will resign. But because it's Africa, you tolerate your leaders. Mama na so fast. Mama na so fast. Our president, come here. Mama na so fast. So you're just gonna bury, if she's dead, Mwarashi can forget? That's a traffic offense. And a life has been lost. We don't the same way. We just have to talk about Sangi. I won't talk much about that. I won't dwell on that. Now, moment of truth before I go. Moment of truth, Mwe Karashar. This leadership. Hey! Moment of truth. Before.
Ciao, Jack. Welcome to Florence.
Moment of truth. Not if I go back Chanchani, why you. The moment of truth.
Hey!
Yo. Moment of truth. Yo. I waited up for sorry. Yo. Nilesa wasadi de sorry. Tapane kwa twinga chitafwe wo sorry. Jambo janoa, baba muwatu wanoa. Nakuwamba na tuwombe sofa. Tatwa kareke sorry. Jambo janoa, baba muwatu wanoa. Nakuwamba na tuwombe sofa. Tatwa kareke sorry. Alewele ya puta, puti na puta. Alewele ya puta. Sometimes ila fwa ikawa baula. Weka fero chidionsa kudandaula. Sometimes ila fwa ikawa tasha. Kati mumba noro watila tabalasha. Mwana techalo chezo wachawama. Wala abukeri nile wala samwa. Uya ntanshu utaba mona. Warolela petekwe watuka mona. Kena maishi mapyo kukonema. Tabali wa mawino kama omena. Katiwe na nilesa pe wasala. Kaniwe na katwa bafe munsala. Yo. Ale puede la posori. Connection is And I'll keep on speaking about this. We have a leadership crisis, and as UPN have messed things so up, they've messed things really bad. We need somebody already with experience, you understand? You know, for Dave Muri chair led, as chair wabos. If you're on Dave Monaf, since he got another term, it's got one term. Anyway, Parwand as chair led. I would rather he comes back, fixes a few things, then he leaves and retires. Why, Monaca? Because I'm looking at the kind of leaders that we have. Now, my connection, tabako ite win. Mama, aga piri piri type ya kwa aga piri piri. Kuranda fina abantu 1 2 fertilizer ya pone na munchende muzindango gagwango why Monaca? 1 2 kapanga fika trip kama shani you know but pera ko fertilizer to ambo kudima so that to akwato bunga, you understand, is already established. You don't find that relationship, no, we still got relationships and goodwill from certain countries that we don't want to deal with, you understand, that are taking over now. We don't want to deal with because of our alignment. So instead of starting to establish new relationship but to avoid UPN, I would rather he comes back in that term to fix this mess that has been created, leaves a very good, you know, intangible for the ones to take over from him, so that like whoever VP is gonna be has got intangible already. Right now, as we speak, these presidential candidates that we have, intangible. You understand? A president has to have intangible. We thought Bali had intangible. The only intangible Bali had was South Africa. Why Monaca? Aporo Bali pang intangible Bali. Monaca. 1 year plus, he's been making intangible. Intangible na yo. Bab sobanya. Why Monaca? He's made intangible with a few countries, but it's not working out well, as you can see. So in a back Monaco, in as Charlie, as somebody that's predicted the situation here, I would rather because they don't quit intangible. No matter what you look at it, you know what? Now we know that Zambia today has been moved 10 years backwards. Even when the damage is small, the damage is huge. And whoever takes over from UPND is gonna have a big challenge. That's the truth. They're gonna have a big challenge because things are messed up, things are jumbled up. But PF started the KCM issue, and at the time we've spoken this about it. When Edgar Lungu started that KCM, go to Milingo to liquidate KCM. When Milingo became the liquidator of KCM, he started making money. They've confessed here the miners. The production was higher at the time when Milingo was the liquidator of KCM. And their aim was to grab that asset to become yours as Zambians. And they had a reason for that. But we were brainwashed, like I've always said. A person that works KCM came here and confessed to say, tuale bomba capacity. About to bomba for 6. Bomba for stations KCM 6. So, in a time here, I never issue Balungu to say, okay, don't forget Balungu is a lawyer, so he understands the law better than Bali. That's the truth. Balungu understands, that's why things were being done accordingly. But Bali is an instructor, him. He can be an engineer today, he can be a lawyer tomorrow. It's like that. That's the kind of president that we have. He doesn't, he knows everything. But when it comes to that KCM, that's why Bali leader. And you know the problem is this. Bachingola barikana vedanta. Barikana vedanta bachingola. You could hear our voice notes, how they are upset. And these are UPND cadres in Chingola that don't want Vedanta. Not just people, but even the UPND cadres themselves, they don't want Vedanta. Why, Monaga? They don't want. But by UPND's last resort is Vedanta. That's why you hear their mind minister of Vedanta's comeback is going to behave. Are you serious? It's going to behave. That's what you have for the Zambian people. It's going to behave so it can come back. Why do you not involve your friends to say, instead of persecuting a Benamiringo? Why did you not find out Benamiringo? How far are you going with this? How can we ensure that we get this back mine and we've changed government so that we continue on the, that's the continuity. Balandapo. You could have asked Benamiringo, Benaisieo, whoever was the mine minister and the PS to say, guys, Shani. So number, what's the best way forward? What were you thinking? Because as we are thinking in this direction, what was your plan with the KCM so that we give the people the best number? Because you removed the liquidator that at the time KCM was making money and profits there. So now KCM and people are languishing in poverty. Kapari production needed KCM. You stopped giving the production in the mines. And people are languishing in poverty. Your own UPN cadres, they don't want Vedanta. What you gonna do? You've already taken Miringo to court. No, Miringo, oh, is sheta. No, it's not what. Now is sheta. Back to Marapira. Kairi more than that's Kunya Kurapira. Who is sheta? But those are the things, if you were, that kind of a government that didn't embark on vengeance and revenge, that wanted the best of the people, you could have engaged. Even the Milingo man, you could have engaged him. Even the Edgar Lungu man, he was president after all. You could have engaged him. So in a once, as Nakulu said, as chairled, I would rather I vote for someone who's already got in Dantico, because where Zambia is now, you can't afford to bring someone with their own ideology. They just have to work on their cadres, the mistake that they made. Okay? And ensure that people are protected and we've got the rule of law. Those are the weaknesses that PF had. To talk about violence, they don't say UPNG, PF are culprits of violence. Nishtana segregate. They all have got a role to play in the violence that the country experienced. So, to say I was better. Violence is violence, regardless of who does it. So, both say PF and UPNG, they are culprits of violence. So, continue now, and let us also say what we think. Welcome to the celebration of Shanshan. It's a free world. So iwe nga wamfana adishati arebwerera. Iwe nayo kabiye urishe. Welcome to the celebration. It's a good day for everybody. So icho chikusakamika. Wamona ichakwe bati inenga na alisha ururwimbo. Bro, na alisha urwimbo rwa musango oyo. Iwe osakamane ngana alisha ururwimbo.
What if you could do as
Iwe wisakamana. Iwe kabiye fena iwe wule nga kadimba kobe nga nika phone ure apa YouTube. Na iwe orishe ngana alisha urwimbo. Ururwimbo nga rwarira ingoma nga shari. Chiri kusakamika yambu. Chiri kupera bibi. Irenga na alikuwa. Iwe na okabiye pe pachitunsh not ma bando tobe. Of watch te we already show urimbo. Nice. 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 Therefore, mi pereko na imomu fwe ko buino wa pressing. Mi pereko exhibit. Why monaga? Ine. Ngara. Okay, ne njua kule kavyo ile. Umfwa. Team workshop. Ine ngara asali shoruru imbo pano pai platform. Iwe ichi pera bibi. Ichi kusakamika. Ichi kulenga utukani. Iwe kabiye palika phone kobe olopa chitunshirikisha na iwe rimboro. Na iwe perisho rimboro. Wamona. Welcome to the Bangles. Now I want to show him. This is provided for democracy. My mother. You better be in and better be. Do you want to show him more? The showroom board. It is provided for ngachiri meshkuru kwata bishafi orwimbo ukira tutuka muntu keine ino mutima wanje bati kwini koko oro challenge bishorimbo iwana iwe show make sure ulisha mchiri meshkuru kule mina kona to drink. That is fair and fair. Icha kwewa mutima na iwe sha. Why monaga? You understand? It ends there. Ngana side show. Gana side sha ururu imbo. Muifuma kwati nibakose kurupako imwe muisa kamana mwamonaga imwe muisa kamana mwimana iri kwisoro iri kwisa gana asalisha uru yo alisha ruja na asalisha uru ale wele pampando icho chipera bibi mina kofia mechi yo alisha na uru morobe ai mwana pampando gana baba like this chips saka meka muntu once yep. Oh, na shini shishoru na sakuri shishoru iwo wisanga mana Jacinta boy wangu mela wala mabibi boy nimbo byeshi
Why? Murwara ama bibi. Eh? Oh, no, let me be good. Inga celebration. Welcome to the celebration. Muchirimba taire umfika di show. I mean, come on, seriously. Nga your celebration. Taire umfika. Muchirimba shukuru. Taire kupela. Chi vibe chapa weekends. Why mona? Uri show. Na isarekeni mipere kwanza pana umwana wachinjisha pendi mbosha wa PF. Lorere. Therefore kuyapa so. What? Waya kuchirimba chobe uyo oli shoro lulikwi lishare isa driver lishoro kabiyo lishoro rock charge lishoro rock charge chichino kuchush Ururimbo. Isha. Ali kuisa dinaiba. Isa. Alisa. Burukoto. Tamori pie mara mudera burukoto. Lishoro rimbo. Lishoro rimbo. Umfwe kishe. Alisa. Burukoto. Isha. Hey, uchush. Driver Alisa. Wakano uchush. Misha uruimbolu. Umfwe wino. Mwana. Stop, no jobs, no food. Uruimbolu. Lisha. No jobs. Alisa. Lisha. What is our Lisha mami daddy Lisha. Burukodo. Hey, Lisha. Why Monaca? Chiramuntu Nechuacha. Ichilem Verapis. Winduka. Nainanga Nashal show. Father. You are please Kavia by YouTube. Now what is show? Burukodo. What do I? Please share what do I do that? You understand? You just play that song. It's a good day for everybody. Playing songs and choosing songs, it shouldn't be a crime. You understand? Once. Pa weekend, but at that particular moment, it didn't bang in a sense. Chief Sakamika, he was a praise singer, Kadishe drive. So anyway, this is where Zambia is on a serious note. Oh boy. Wala tukana, wala Stephen Jones, the shafi wala onfa bwino. Gate driver, the sha celebration. Why monaga? Na ihoto wala shara mu 2021 to wala shesha mu 2021. Yes. Let's not insult each other. Oh, don't go there for. Let me give you this good one. Yeah, what dreams? The mamona Mr. Pasana by BF. Play this one. You want one kore. When I play dreams. Play that. Play. Dishaba mwangoda. One kore. Play that song. Let's not insult each other. Insult won't take us anywhere. Insult won't develop this country. Insult won't put food on your table. Insult won't stop you from going to queue up for Milliman. You will insult here. Tomorrow you are going to queue up. And you remember my words. That's the truth. But queue up. So anyway, I've spoken too much. Thank you so much for joining. I will come back if time allows me tomorrow. God bless you. God bless. Abalung will be on standby. That is not up to you to resign. You are a country's property. About we put you in a box for now. To adim stako kaja to amivika box menko barung tueshe kobami. So Tata, for now it's not now. About to Africa, Abechalo to Africa is not your say. You are a government property. You are a Zambian property. It's not your say to say I've retired. My mother, father. It's not your say. When we decide to say, okay, let's go to Quebec. Muka to Tanf. Muka to Poco Redef. Life of Africa. Gabantu to aside much okay to Isa for Ibex. Muka to Tanf have retired. Yo. For now, rest. For now, watch TV. For now, continue exercising because we need you fit on standby. We need you fit. Easier, we need you fit. So continue going for a carrot run. Not more fruits. Make yourself, jacked up, energetic. We might just say, you know what? Come wait for us again. After all, we can fire and high. We're the Zambians. We're the one who fires and high. So if we think, well, maybe the last employee did a little bit better, we might give you the job back. So for now, meantime, keep fit. Keep fit. Too much vegetables, too much fruits, magamaka, so that by the time we're coming to get you out of that box, you are. Now, of course. For now, let's see how this is going to play out. So for now, sir, you still want us an explanation. We still need you. We still need you to give us some sort of direction because the country's direction is. So we still need you, sir. We still need you. Jacinta, where Zambia is, boy, where Zambia is at this moment, we need to put Isi on standby. See how this 1 year is going to play up. We need to put him on standby. So he needs jogging, kajim sana, boss, kajim. kajimu sana abantu barenza roko nayi kakana imokaita muisepe mwasarengera ko ngamwarengera ku social media yonse ya piba. But the real thing, you've not seen it. People are crying. People are crying. You should watch Talis. Maybe even me, I should start letting people call in. I'm working on it. I'll give you a number soon where you can call in. So that I want to buy you free. So as things stand, God. As things stand, we pray for his health, we pray for him. And I know somebody will capture this and maybe he'll show you one day. All I'm saying is keep yourself fit for now. Lots of vegetables, lots of exercises, and lots of, make sure kuberenga sana, mind yako sharp, because the time we're going to come, oh, tata, come back here, we want you to start so that come back not that we need you to be jacked up, because if into no win but pressing a chimisaka mikecho nderanda but if you stand by him himself, he said, and lots of water. Yes, LBJ, lots of water. Yes, you are right. We need lots of water, fruits, vegetables. We are the ones who are telling now Edgar Lungu's diet. But Mama Esther, if you are listening, we want him lots of water, vegetables, fruits, exercise twice a day, actually. Twice a day. Uruchero ne chungu, ka wake out. Makamaka. Because as things stand, anytime we can, Zambians, they can just say 10 Quebecs. To any shop we can. Because have Quebecs. Elote chumutukani. Elote chumutanj. Mamon. Mwana kasembe kakoma wera wakobeka. So for now, keep yourself mind in a style. You see? Karubiro-san. Yes, we are praying for him. Otherwise, we've run out of patience with these leaders. We've run out. So we need somebody who can execute things. By the way, Kukawoma, there's a hospital that was built in Kawoma, and I don't know if it isn't being complete. Development hospital, because the people of Dudumwes come to that Kawoma hospital. I'm fine touches their shell, but so if we'll call you to come and finish it. So anyway, God bless you. God bless Zambia. Alanda sana. Let me go. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good night.